Alex here with a high conflict child custody video on staying together for the kids. I think I did a video on this and I just looked and looked through my repository and I can't find anything. So I'm going to go ahead and just do this video now. If I have done this video before, guys, I'm sorry. Please let me know. So this is my personal, I guess, sort of thought process on this idea. It's a very common idea, mainly in the context of divorce. People don't want to get divorced because usually they have like a bad past, like their parents got divorced and they weren't happy and all that stuff, and so they don't want to do the same thing to their kids. So my personal, I guess you could say, opinion, maybe even perspective on this is that the logic behind it is true, but I think people get hung up on either divorce, the label, or on staying together with that specific person. So this is just based on what I saw with my son and what I imagine would have happened if I stayed with my ex. And I think the first problem with this idea is that your children have to see you happy specifically with their other biological parent. And that is, of course, the ideal. Like, if there was a choice between your children seeing you happy with your biological parent or seeing you happy with a step parent, obviously that would be better. But when it's like a toxic relationship or there is abuse and neglect and all that stuff going on, control, power struggles, unhappiness, definitely, they don't necessarily see like a happy relationship just because you're still together. They see this dysfunctional, toxic situation, and then they go into adulthood thinking that's normal. So when you can't sort of get the ideal situation, the next best thing would be for them to see at least one of their parents happy with somebody new. I think the point here is they need an example of a genuine, authentic relationship, one that shows that this is how it's supposed to look, so that when they go into adulthood, they'll think back, yeah, my parents split up, but my mom got with this other person and it was really obvious how, in love they were and how happy they were. And so they'll want to look for that. Even better if both parents split up and both parents found new partners that made them happy, because then the kids get twice the example. Sometimes, though, that doesn't happen. And then, of course, I think there are unfortunate situations where both parents split up and then they get new partners and then they split up again. And the kids, all they see is just a multitude of failed relationships. I don't know what to say about that. All I could say is you really, you can't read the future. You don't know what's going to happen. If I would have stayed with my ex, our son would have had a terrible example of a good, family. He would have seen all 18 solid years of dysfunction, and he would have had this warped example of what to expect when sort of when he goes out on his own and finds, I don't know, a relationship partner. So anyway, guys, that's my take on it, and I think that if you and your ex can't get along and you're in court and you've split up, if you really are upset about what your kids are going to have to go through now that there's a separation, I think maybe the better way to look at it is you're just going to make sure that the next time you take the time, figure it out, and hopefully are in a better relationship with a different person so that they can see what it looks like. I guess that's sort of the conclusion at the end of this video, and that's the goal, is give your kids an example of a happy relationship, because that's what's going to really make them, it's going to put them on solid footing for when they go into their own relationships. So if anyone here has any questions, feel free to post it down in the comments below, and I will see you guys next time.